not take the admonition of a brother comrade for him to return to the hospital. On the contrary, he pleaded that a motorbike should be brought, and then he was hauled, he was put on the back of that motorbike. And I'm sure that many of us have seen the photographs of how comrade was on the back of a motorbike when he's supposed to be lying in a sick bed in the hospital. I think that is very instructive, leading from the front. So as I discuss Beko as a professional, I also want us to pay attention to what makes his own professionalism peculiar and distinct. It is that it is rooted in discipline. It is rooted in character. Character in the sense that if he was to be in this program and discipline, and the time, as we agreed, is 1 p.m., Beko would have been here hovering around, latest either by 12:30 or quarter to that one. And you know, he wasn't the talking type, but he was packed full of action, ready to take the extra mile and make the extra sacrifice, provided that the result of the collective is achieved. So, as we remember him, we pay attention to what made him tick. He wasn't a frivolous person. He didn't suffer fools easily. He wasn't perfunctory. What he did was thorough. Even before computers came out, Beko had his own form of documentation. So there are no questions about lack of accountability. It was clear that this is what happened with respect to this, and the records were documented. That was the kind of discipline that destabilized the enemies of the struggle in a way that it was difficult to find him wanting, even if you chose to look in that direction. I thought you would clap to that. As an activist, having discussed him as a professional, well, of course, to tell you, like the chairman said, that at a point he was in the leadership of the Nigerian Medical Association. In short, the presence of people like Dr. Beko, Rason Kuti, Dr. Ore Falomo, yes, and a host of others, radicalized the medical profession. So you would not imagine that doctors will be part of street protests. But he took the Bekos within the ranks of the doctors to inform and educate them on why they should even be in the forefront of this struggle. So as an activist, Beko transmuted from a medical doctor to a full-blown mass mobilizer. And what you do with that is not to wear your stethoscope and your medical gown. It is to come down to the streets and be in touch with the people. And he wasn't doing that by proxy. He was interfacing. So today, there is a need to engage the military. And what I call engagement is to oppose them and their policies. He wouldn't stop at reducing his ideas in a written form. He moves with a team that visits the market women, and you will be shocked. In short, the market women, the students, the artisans, even professionals, fellow professionals, will be sufficiently mobilized, motivated, and inspired by the presence of somebody like Beko to say, I have looked at this situation, and I have found that the only way by which we can make the change necessary is to be part of the struggle. So the next morning, you will see market women on the street. It didn't just happen. It took the mobilization and strategic team of the struggle who had visited them in their meetings. That explains and emphasizes the beauty of networking. He had it. So he was known as a mass mobilizer. Where he could not go, he got enough foot soldiers reach out there. But what is more, he was extremely courageous. What did I say? Extremely courageous. And I can just give you 2 examples. In the heat, on the height of military rule in this country, it took the courage of the Bekos to go beyond bemoaning our situation and to step out. Having stepped out, Beko, like other comrades, Beko in particular, was arrested and kept in a very notorious cell. They call it a town, or what do you call it? Yeah? The cell is in the burial ground. I don't know if you've heard this. The cell where Beko was kept by the military is in the burial ground, in the cemetery. The whole idea was to break his spirit, knowing that this guy has got an indomitable spirit. Little did they know or realize that he was a medical doctor who had dealt with dead bodies for as long as he wanted. He studied anatomy, and to be a professional anatomist, you must have dealt with cadavers and co. And you know the worst situation. It is that when they left him there, throughout the day, they will lock him in. They will only release him at night, so that when he strolls around, you can only see his spirit. Did it work? It didn't work. The courage that he displayed was what makes it impossible for the military to carry on with that deadly idea. I'm not sure it is not true that he was scared. I'm only sure that he was greatly motivated to stand in the vanguard of the struggle of the people, so much so that it appeared as if he was not scared. Please, give a Rosa for that. So the point is that we cannot be preaching what we profess and say it with fear or haphazardly. What you do is that you are demobilizing other people. Sure. But when you proceed with certain measure of conviction, certain measure of determination, others will be inspired by the possibilities of what they see. Not because there is no fear. Fear is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to confront that fear. So any man who you see demonstrating courage, it doesn't mean he's not scared. It is the conviction that he has to confront that fear. That is what overpowers the fear itself. Beko has more than enough dose of that. And what is more, we had the privilege of having him as the pioneer president of the Committee for Defense of Human Rights. What did he do? The CDHR was vetted in his bedroom. CDHR! So many of us today live at the comforts of our home, come to the right hand, the struggle on the streets, and this one carried a struggle. He will say, Madam, I beg, wait for Palo. My comrades are around. We occupied number 15 in Mariam Street, and know the village. And it wasn't for 5 days or 2 weeks, it was for years. What more sacrifice do you think is possible with a professional who at that time was consulting for World Health Organizations in the leadership of the medical association of this country, and recognized as a very competent and effective medical doctor from a very robust upper-class family. We all remember the professor, Olukoye. We remember Fela. We remember Zidiola, the sister, and himself. By a world-known mother and a reverend as a father. That was above middle class those days. But each one of them, particularly Fela and Beko, played down on the comfort of their own circumstances and identified with the masses. Did not just identify, they made sure they accommodated the masses and told the masses in practical terms that they live because of them. Otherwise, why would you use your own rapper to drag ant and wahala into your house? But to have CDHR domicile in your house meant that the SSS, the DSS, the DMN, all the security agencies will be on that house 24 hours. But that happened. What is the result? The result is that this institution is standing today. And that is why I started by thanking you. Such a man cannot be forgotten because they gave all and they taught us all and they showed us all the examples. So we salute him. We salute Lagos State Brand. We salute our hero past. So, as a humanist, and this is where I'm running off, hoping that there will be other interventions. If he was less a humanist, we would have seen him as a professional, prescribing drugs, injecting people with vaccines or medicines. We would have seen him as an activist. Maybe he gathers the best of brains around in a hotel room and think about social problems and ideas on how to solve them. But as a humanist, he removed the toga of his accomplishments and came down to the level of the people, substituting the people with his own self. That for me was instructive. You need to see him move into student struggle. You wonder, and that's how some of us met him. We were running amok in the University of Nigeria. And when it happens, and there's need to interface, he will ask you. They said there are vehicles that the vice president is using. So how many are down? Why did you leave 2 or 3 for him? It will mean he will still be able to move. It was that tactful when he thinks about demobilizing the enemy. That also got him into trouble. You know, he was in detention for years because it was perceived that he was the one who sent the mail or the written document during the coup of that time. But all of those things were how to empower the people, how to undermine the ruling class, and how to ensure that their plans don't succeed as they thought about it. So the humanity was safe because he came out, identified with the problems of the people, led from the front, never was found wanting, and showed enough courage and character and discipline as he did always. He was an activist, better known all over the world as an activist, a human rights, pro-democracy activist, and he paid dearly for it. And of course, he was a professional, as we all know. On this note, I'd like to thank you once again and hope that we don't stop with this 16th memorial lecture. We will continue knowing that he represents one of the best in terms of values, in terms of principle that our organization can boast of, so that the younger cadres of our comrades will emulate all of these virtues that we say that they paraded.